Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our evening show. I'm your wonderful host, Micah Byers, and for our special tonight, we have not only recreated a monumental court case, but we have also got the people who started it all. Over the past few weeks and a considerable amount of emails, we finally got them. Please give a warm welcome to the few who protested for their right to protest. Mary and John Tinker. So much for having you on the show.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic for you guys to be here.
Thank you.
For those at home who might be out of the loop, in December of 1965, these three had decided to wear armbands in school to protest the Vietnam War. Their teachers caught wind of what they were going to do by some of the students and created a policy that prevented any and all students from wearing an armband. Despite this, these advocates for justice protested and wore their armbands, earning them a suspension. Now, enough from me. Let's hear this from the plaintiffs themselves. Mary and John Tinker.
Yes.
I'm so happy you guys are here tonight, and I just want you to bring me back and bring the audience back to the date of the incident.
Well, the incident happened on December 18th, 1965. Basically, a couple of classmates, including myself, we came into school wearing these black armbands, which basically symbolize peace, because during that time, people from Iowa being drafted into the Vietnam War, and we basically didn't support it at all. So to show that we didn't support it, we wore these armbands to school.
You did so as well?
Yes.
What don't you support about the Vietnam War?
Well, these children are our age and younger getting drafted into the war, so that automatically has a high risk of them not coming back to live out the rest of their lives. It's a very dangerous war. It's a very senseless war. And for them not to be able to live out the rest of their youthfulness is just a shame. We don't think it's fair.
Do you have an armband here tonight to show the audience?
Yes, I do.
We do.
Take it out. Oh, a lot smaller than I thought, but this small object launched our future students into a revolution that contained not only respect, but humility. This small armband spoke a lot louder than any amount of words can. So, tell me about the armband. What does it symbolize?
Symbolizes peace and solidarity.
Peace and solidarity.
Yes.
But what does it symbolize to you two?
To us, it symbolizes basically that, like, we're a unit and, like, we can't be separated and have people from different areas of the United States, not only in Iowa, but all across the United States being selected into these wars where they ultimately lose their lives.
Absolutely terrible. I'm so happy you show such a strong opinion on this against war effort that exists. So I want to ask you, what happened in court?
Well, when we were in court, they were trying to say that we were distracting students from learning. And, we obviously didn't feel the same way. Well, that's why we chose armbands. We didn't have to make, a march or cause a loud ruckus just to get our point across. We wanted to fight for a peaceful cause, so we did it peacefully. We just feel like actions do speak louder than words, and unfortunately we got in trouble, but luckily we had the right people that backed us, and we were able to get to the conclusion that we wanted.
So you defended your First Amendment right.
Yes.
That's absolutely fantastic. And I have something wonderful for our audience out here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, our special tonight, a Tinker v. Moines recreation.
All rise. The U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Iowa is now in session. Honorable Judge Diego Gimenez presiding. Today we will hear the oral arguments in the case of Tinker v. Des Moines. This is a case that decided by the trial in favor of school district. On appeal, a tie vote in the 8th Circuit District Court of Appeals meant that the trial court's decision in favor of the school district would stand. The students have now brought their case to the Supreme Court of the United States. Here is the procedure we'll follow today. We will start with the petitioners. They are the students who asked the court for review. They are John Tinker and Mary Beth Tinker. Then we will hear the respondent, which is the school district. The petitioner will then have the opportunity for rebuttal. We will begin with the Tinkers.
We decided that despite our school's announced ban on wearing armbands to protest the Vietnam War, we will wear them as a matter of conscience. In accordance with the policy, we were suspended. But as you can see from the evidence presented to the trial court, we did not cause a disruption at the school. We therefore believe that the school's enforcement of the armband policy violated our First Amendment rights of free speech and expression.
School officials run the school, and with that power come big responsibilities. But also, they cannot just suppress our First Amendment rights.
The school district may now make their defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court and counsel, I agree that the law is simple in this case. Schools are allowed to control students' speech if it interrupts school activities. Mr. Tinker is wrong on one very important fact. Mary Beth Tinker's conduct was a major distraction that interrupted school activities. She went too far in expressing her views. Her suspension did not violate the First Amendment. Members of the jury, my client, the Des Moines School District, just wants to educate students. Not all speech is protected by the First Amendment.
The Tinkers may now rebuttal.
Yeah, school officials are authorized to manage us, but they aren't authorized to manage our rights. We try to fight this peacefully, and they try to say that we were trying to distract the students. We didn't do that at all. We just wore these black armbands to signify that we wanted peace throughout the world. We wanted the boys to come back home. We feel like they're too young to be fighting a senseless war.
Members of the jury, the parties have presented their case. It is time for you to decide the case in our country. All people have a First Amendment right to freely express their opinions. Students in public schools have this right, but speech is not protected by the First Amendment if it harms others. In this case, if you find that Mary Beth Tinker's black armband at the school did not disrupt the class and was not offensive, you should fine for the plaintiff. And the school must stop enforcing the rule. But if you find that the school district proved that when Mary Beth Tinker wore the armband, it disrupted class and was offensive, then you must fine for the defendant. And the no armband rule stays in effect.
That was absolutely stunning. I am so happy to see that these two were able to express their right to protest, and in court, these two youngsters defended their right against people who shot them down and put them up against the wall. That's a revolutionary cause and an absolutely perfect model for what we need in our future generation. Don't you believe so?
Yes,
I do.
sir, absolutely.
There's nothing more I can say. But there is one thing. One most important thing. Two words that without saying them means nothing. Thank you. Thank you, John, and thank you, Mary, for doing something that none of us could do, and for standing up for their rights. And for the audience, thank you.